Hi everyone. Today's video episode is on Ionic framework using Vue. This is a introduction video we are where we are going to create some simple application with couple of pages, and also we will do some data binding using the free REST API available to us, and then we are fine, and also we will add a side menu in this sample application, and finally we will test our sample application in the mobile emulator by running the Android Studio in our local. Before going any further, I want to mention that this entire session has been made as blog, like getting started sample on Ionic 5 application using Vue. So if you want to check out the blog, link will be available in the description under the video. So you can go through the blog if you want. Okay. And now, so to create our sample application in Ionic 5 using Vue.js, let's go to the official docs like Ionic framework docs. There, if you scroll down, you can find for each framework some documentation like Angular, React, as well as Vue. So in the Vue, you can go for Quick Start tab. Okay, and here if you scroll, the first thing is the Vue.js is latestly released, right? If you have already installed CLI, please make sure to have the latest CLI by running this command. This command will in -g represents this command will run globally onto our local system. So if you haven't installed or if you want to update the latest CLI, please use this command before doing anything else. So the CLI on your system get updated or will be newly downloaded into your system. Next, once you have installed the Ionic CLI latest, there is a command to create a sample application like Ion start. My app is our application name, and blank is the template type because Ionic by default provides some default templates like tabs, menus like that. Here I am selecting the empty project, and here I am specifying the or I am giving instruction to Ionic CLI to create a Ionic application that is belongs to Vue. So here using type we need to define the. So let's create a sample application for our video session. So now let's create a sample Ionic application using Vue. We have already pasted, right? I'm just going to change my application name like Ion Vue getting started app. Okay. This is my sample application. Here Ionic is the CLI command. It will going to create a project like Ion GS app. It is my project name. And here I am selecting the blank template. Okay. And here I am going to instruct in the CLI to create project using the Vue CL. So let's hit run the command. While installing, CLI will ask you to create a free account for Ionic community. For development, you can say no. If you want yes, if you want to create, you can click yes and create an account for it. I'm saying no, so let's run it. And our Ionic app is successfully created. Now I am going to open my project in Visual Studio Code. So here it is my Ionic application created using Vue. You can go to package.json for the versions for Ionic and the Vue. You can see here it is running on 4 Ionic framework version 5, and it is created with the Vue.js 3. Okay, so this is my application. If you go to src, you can find our Vue.js application. But if you observe here, by default, Ionic creates everything using TypeScript. But most of the developers that are well known to using Vue.js mostly prefer to use JavaScript. So, but Ionic gives us directly TypeScript compatible project. So all the Vue.js lovers who are love to use it in JavaScript, it is easy only. There are few steps where we have to alter our project to work as JavaScript project, means Vue.js in JavaScript code instead of TypeScript. If you follow those steps, we can done and our project, Ionic project with Vue using the JavaScript syntax we will have. So for that, I will go to my blog. Those steps will be available in official docs as well. If you want, you can check there. Okay. First thing is remove the TypeScript dependency is the first thing. For that, you need to uninstall all these TypeScript references. So I am copying this command and go to our VS Code. And here I am pasting that command to uninstall all the references regarding to the TypeScript. Okay, we have successfully uninstalled our TypeScript dependencies. We will go for next step. Next step is like we need to change the file extents from .ts to .js. Our application is a blank application, right? So here we will have only two files with ts, like router file and the main.ts. We need to change them to JS files. Okay, and we will check for next step. Next step is like in .eslint rc.js file, we need to remove this TypeScript recommended from the extends array property. Okay, let's go to .es. In this JS, I need to remove this line from the extends array. And next, I need to remove the type ESLint no explicitly -any of property from the rules object. Here are the rules, and I need to remove this line. Okay. And next, now remove the array route record raw types in the router.index.js. So recently we have converted TS to JS, right? Go to router index.js and we need to remove this type. Okay, and also the import. Okay, delete the sims.vue.dts file. Okay, let's remove that file. Remove this file. Okay, next step is remove the lang equal to ts attribute on zip tag on .vue file. We will have two view files mostly. Okay, actually I am going to remove this entire view folder. Okay, and in app view I am going to delete ts file. Okay, that's all are the most required changes for to convert our ts view file syntax to JS syntax. So now what I will do in this sample, I am going to create two pages, like welcome page, nothing but a home page, and another thing is like to-dos page. To-dos page where we are going to consume a REST API in the later steps. Okay, so inside of SRC, create a folder like pages. Here let's create two view components, like one is like home.view. Okay, another one is like todos.view. Okay, so just implement some basic skeleton structure for these components. Okay. Okay, this is to do. Sorry. Okay, just copy this and go to our home view. Paste here. Just replace the text like welcome. Okay. These are all 2 pages for my application. Now we need to configure routing for these pages. For that, go to router folder index.js file. Since we have deleted views folder and home view, right? Just replace this with pages. Okay. And I'm going to import my to-dos view component as well. Okay. Here I am going to create a new route for it. Okay, like to-dos and component is like to-dos. Okay. Let's run our application and check it in our browser. Command is like Ionic5, I believe. We can check in package.json. Ionic5, okay. So it launches my application. You can see the message. For better view, we can use the mobile emulators of Chrome browser. Okay. So these are the mobile view. And let's go to to-dos page. So my navigation is done. But if you observe here, it is very plain, right? Nothing designed, no header, no footer, or nothing else, right? So next step is to create a master layout. So master layout means nothing but we will have a structure for our application like common header, footer, and the area of the page content to be rendered like body. So for that, what we will do, we will create a common view component. We will name it as a layout like master layout or anything. We can name it and create a new component. So let's go to our project and here so let's create a folder like components. Okay, here I am going to create a component like master layout dot view. Okay, so in this view component I need to build up all the structure to my applications like header, footer, everything. Okay, so let's create and for creating header and footer, if you want, you can use normal CSS and HTML and you can design. But most preferred and most recommended way to get the our views compatible to the mobile view because Ionic is a framework where it will run our browser, our application in a headless browser in a mobile application as similar as a mobile application, right? So to get the impact of mobile compatible design and everything when our application is loaded, when the user accessing in their mobiles, we mostly prefer to use the Ionic pre-built components. Okay, so we are mostly use the design only using those Ionic pre-built components. But you can do if you want with Bootstrap also, but recommended are used to the built-in components of the Ionic. So for that, I need to import some built-in components from the Ionic view, like Ion header, okay, Ion content. Here names itself self-explanatory. What the purpose of those components, right? Okay, and Ion toolbar and Ion title. Okay, so these are the like root components to create a layout. We based on our business logic, we may have to load more components as well. Okay, for now let's import them as a components inside of our view component. So it is not computed components. Okay, let's register all those Ionic view components here. Ion header, Ion content. Okay, and Ion toolbar and Ion title. Okay, so let's create render those Ionic components. And forgot to mention one of the important Ionic component is like Ion page. It is like a parent of everything. Okay, so let's import that Ion page as well. Okay, now render the Ion components. Okay, so this is my master layout, like my header and my content will be rendered here. I am making the page title as dynamic that will receive the value as a input props. Okay, view input props. So now I need to create a plot tag. So this is the area where all my pages which are going to be rendered based on the URL will be rendered inside of this slot area. Okay, that's about mostly about our master template layout for now. Okay, let's register our master template globally so that it will be loaded on for every page. To do that, go to app view. If you want registered globally, then we have to register on every page. So master template is like required on every page, right? So we should register it globally, not in app view. It is in main.js file. So what I will do, let's import my master layout component. Okay, we have imported here, and what we will do, we will register it like app.component. I'm going to name my component as master-layout. Okay, just pass our master layout. So that's our global configuration of our master layout. Now we need to update our pages to use this master layout in them. For that, go to our pages like home. Okay, let's master layout. Let's get rid of all these because we have registered globally, right? We no need to register them in the component level. So if for this we need to take all this data inside of it. Okay, now we have an input property like page title, right? We need to pass that here. I can make as home. Let's go to our to-dos page. Here also let's import our master layout and remove the page level configuration and pass our title here. Okay, I will name it as to-dos, this title. So let's paste everything inside of it. Okay, now we can test our sample how it looks. See, now it is much better, right, than previous, where we have our header and the body content. They are separated the view also almost look like mobile view, right? Like mobile header, everything. So now for this, what we will do, so to make it more beautiful, what we will do, we will add some styling. Okay. For adding styling, I want to mention here by default, there are some CSS variables for coloring. We are going to use them in the theme folders. If you go, you have see all the CSS variables. I'm going to use these variables. So here I'm going to create a new CSS file like master layout.css. In Ionic also, like we do for HTML tags, based on tags, we can apply colors, right? Similarly, in Ionic also, we can apply colors or design styles for the Ionic component tags itself, based on tags itself. For that, we need to check the properties or configurations provided to us by the Ionic. So we need to check the only those overrideable properties to add some styling based on the tags. So here, what I want to do for my sample application, I want to add a color to this menu, or sorry, not menu, header bar. So for that, header bar is mainly made up of what? It is mainly made up of, let's go to master layout. It is mainly built up of Ion toolbar. Okay, let's check for the overrideable properties of the Ionic toolbar to add some styles to it. For that, can go to Ion toolbar. Okay, go to the documentation, and if you go down here, these are the CSS properties where we can use to override the styling of this components, Ionic components. So here I am going to use background and color. Background is for change to background color. This color is to change the text color. I am going to use both of them on the Ion toolbar. Okay. So go to our CSS file. So I need to apply on Ion toolbar, right? For adding color, I'm copying this property. Okay. I'm going to use the CSS variables for coloring. I'm going to apply the primary color for my header. Okay. And next is I want to add the color. So let's copy this and do some coloring and add some CSS variable. And I am going to use the primary contrast as the color variable. Okay. And save it, and we need to import it. It is a master layout, right? So you can go to our main.js. Here, let's import our new file as well. Okay, and save it. And now check our application. Here, not comma, it seems like semicolon. So save and test our application. See, now our colors has been applied, right? So it is now better than the previous type, right? Like this, you can add colorings to the Ionic tags itself based on by checking the each component customized properties provided by the Ionic. Okay, so that's about the some giving idea on adding the colors. Okay, next what we have to do, let's add a menu to our sample application. So menu, for adding menu, also we can create a some separate component in components. Let me create, like I will name it as side menu dot view. Okay, and let's have our skeleton for our component script. So the main important components for menu, for adding menu is Ion menu. Sorry, let's from @Ionic view, right? Ion menu, okay, and Ion header and Ion content. Okay, so Ion menu, Ion header, Ion content, and Ion toolbar, like Ion title and Ion item and Ion list. So these are all the components required for our menu, and let's register them in our view components as well. Computed components. Okay. Ion menu, Ion header, Ion content, Ion toolbar, Ion title. Okay, we have registered all our required components into our view. So let's render them. Similar to Ion page, for menu, Ion menu is the root template that need to be rendered. So Ion menu also have Ion header and Ion content, similar to like Ion page, where it has page will have header content, right? Similarly, menu also have header and content as well. So Ion menu, okay, and inside of it, I will have childs like Ion header and then Ion content. Okay, and inside of it I'm going to have Ion toolbar and Ion title. This one is like optional only. Ion header and title. I will give like welcome. Okay. Now here inside of Ion content, we need to create a list. List contains the items. Those items will represent the each individual menu. So let's render the Ion list. Inside of it, we should have Ion items. Okay. Here we need to define our items that will going to represent our menus. For to display our menu contents, we need to have two more. For better styling view, we need to have two more components like Ion label and Ion. Okay, let's import those Ion icon. Okay, we have these two, and inside of the Ion item, let's use Ion icon and Ion label. Okay, let's copy them. I have two menus, right? Like home and to-dos. I will label as home and I will label as to-dos. Okay. And what I have to do, I need to give one ID like uh, menu ID. I have to add menu ID. Like I will name it as side menu. Okay, and I need to add one more ID attribute like content hyphen ID. I will name it as my menu. Okay. So this ID is to represent for which content this menu should be represent. This ID to represent this entire menu template ID means we can have multiple menus. So to identify them individually, this menu ID will be useful. This content ID will be for the way to render this menu ID. And this should be uh, assigned to the sibling component to our menu component. So sibling component to our menu component. So where we have to register our menu means go to app view and here we need to register our mm, menu component. Okay. So this sibling is our Ionic router outlet, right? So here we need to assign the ID which we have created for like a content ID in our side menu. So if you want, I can create a separate video for menu, why to do like this and everything. So let's add here. Okay. And now we have registered our side menu, right? And all side menu here imported and in the components. And also registered here our side menu. Okay. And next we have registered our menu, right? We have registered our menu in our app.view file root file only. Okay. Now we need to add a button to invoke this menu. Okay, for that, where we have to do it in our master layout. Go to our master layout. Here, I need to have some button. I need to use a component like ion buttons, not buttons. I have to use because inside of it I am going to use the icon as a button. Ion buttons registered it as well. So let's use that ion buttons and ion buttons. Okay, and inside of it I am going to add some icon. So let's import ion icon component, ion icon component. Okay, start. This will render our button or the icon at the beginning of our row. Okay, here I need to add my icon. So for that, what I have to do, I need to use the icons provided by the ion icons. So here I will search like menu. So I'm going to use this one, filled one like this. Name is menu, right? So I need to import icon like import from. So here you can get like menu. Okay, and it should be written as a data property. And menu, and here I will bind that menu data property. Okay, so let's check first whether it is showing our hamburger icon or our application. Sorry, it should be buttons, not button component. Okay, buttons component is used like a wrapper where mostly used to render the icons. So let's check now. Sorry, just like this. Okay, let's check. So see, now we have hamburger icon, right? Now on clicking this, I need to open the menu component that I have already created, right? For that, what I need to do is there is a controller like menu controller. This can access any kind of what I can say menu that was existed in our application. So what I will do uh, here I am going to write show menu. Okay, sorry, we need to write it in methods. Okay, so here I am going to use the menu container, menu controller, and it have method like open. This method we need to pass the ID of our menu ID. So menu ID is nothing but if you go to our side menu, here I have given side menu, right? So that will open the menu side menu. Okay, and let's register this method as a click event. Okay, I think that should work. Here mistake is, sorry. It should be on not template. They should be on Ion menu. Okay. Menu ID and content ID are attributes for Ion menu. Sorry, I have added in wrong place. Let's test it now. See, now I have menu, right? Okay. Now we need to make them clickable. I'm going to create a method like to page, okay, where we want to navigate. Here I'm going to receive an input parameter like URL. Okay. Here I need to navigate to that page and I must close my menu, right? For that, what I have to do, I am using the composition API to get the uh, route data into my component. For that, import from view router use route. Okay, we need to import that and let's write composition like okay, that will create a memory of the our route and let's return it as a prop. Okay, let's use that route. This dot route dot push. Okay, I'm going to use the URL to pass. And here I want to close the menu before navigating to other page using the uh, menu controller. Let's import menu controller as well. In the menu controller is global. It can access the menu wherever it is rendered. Okay, so here menu controller dot close. I need to pass the menu ID. What is my menu ID? Side menu. Okay, I need to pass it and I need to register the to page method here for my item list. Okay, let's add type button to get nice effect while clicking the menu and registered click to page. Okay, here it is like home URL input parameter and here also button at the rate click. Okay, to page and to do's. Okay, let's test our page. Oh, sorry, it is not a component. Okay, so let's check. Now I will click on to do's. See, I am to do's on page and my menu is closed. I'm going home page is closed. So my menus are working great. Now what I'm missing icons here, right? Similar to what we have did in our what I can say master layout. Same way we need to write our menus as well. For that, just copy this and go to my side menu and import them. Here I need menus like home. Home name is home. So I will import home. Okay. And another thing, anything, I will use this for to-dos. I will use planet. Okay, planet. And I need to export them as data properties. Okay, home, planet. Okay, so let's icon equal to planet, icon equal to home, and let's add slot like start and a slot like start. So let's check the output. So here the mistake, I need to return properties. Now they should work. See, I got icons also. So that's all about our menu. Okay. Next thing I want to do is in to-dos, I want to show the list of to-dos by calling a external API. For that, I am going to use like a JSON placeholder slash to-dos. It is a free REST API where you can consume. So I'm going to use this API to consume. So for that, what I will do in to-dos, create a button. So that button going to that on clicking that button, it will show all the to-dos. Okay. For that, let's get Ion button. Okay. Let's copy this. This will fill up my whole page nicely. Okay. I have it. Now I need to import that Ion button component from @Ion view and Ion button. Okay. Register that Ion button component. Okay. And now on click on this button, we need to display list of Ion list. I'm going to create Ion list and Ion item. Okay. Just register them as well. List and Ion item. So here we are going to use Ion list, and we need to loop through the Ion items. So to call a external API call for view, the most recommended library is Axios. Let's install the Axios client library that going to invoke the API calls. Okay, copy this and run the Axios command. For now, let's stop our server and install Axios. After installing Axios successfully, now let's implement the logic. Before that, let's start our app. It will run under background. And what I will do, I'm going to import Axios. Then let it run. Axios, okay. And in the methods, I'm going to create a method like call to do's. Okay. It is a synchronous call. So what I will do, I will use async await. I write axios dot get, and I am going to pass my external API, that is JSON placeholder API for fetching the to-dos. So I will use that, and I will capture the data. Okay, and data property return to-dos. This is my array of to-dos container. I'm going to add those to-dos into my to-dos container variable. Now I need to loop these to-dos in my item list to bind them. For that, v for equal to to-do in to-dos. Okay, like to-do dot id, nothing but these properties I am binding, and next one is title I want to bind. Okay, to-do dot title. I think that's it, and we need to register our method to this click method at the rate click call to do's, right? Okay, call to do's, and let's name this button as show to do's. And remove this semicolon, and I think we are mostly done, and our application is up and running. Let's just check our output. Okay, and let's click on it. See, I'm successfully able to fetch my data from the servers. For that, you can check the, see, this is my response. All these responses I am binded to my application. So you can check here we have a mini application, right? Where I can check everything. One more thing, I have done a mistake. It is not route, it is router. Sorry for that. So that's why my routing is breaking. It should work by now. Let's test our app finally. See, now it is able to move between the app. Okay. See, and let's go to my home page. See how smoothly I am transitioning between my pages. You can observe here. Okay. So that's all about our sample application. What we have did here, like we have created a Ionic application with view and created a page components, and then added a menu and also installed Axios to consume the API, and we almost created some basic application using the Ionic5 with Vue.js. So now let's run this application. Mm, Now run this application using the Android emulator to get the more feel of how it exactly look in mobile. For that, there are couple of comments. Okay, those things we need to render. So to test any browser of an I am sorry to test the application into any mobile emulator, the Ionic has given a pre-built framework library is called Capacitor. Capacitor is Capacitor that runs the Android applications. Uh, Capacitor is a here it's have definition. Capacitor is a cross-platform native runtime that makes easy to build modern web apps that run natively on iOS and Android. Means it makes the web app to run as mobile application natively compatible to mobiles based on the type of mobile like iOS or Android mobile. So that is the functionality of this capacitor library. So by default, we are using Ionic application. It will be inbuilt with our sample application. But to confirm it, let's run this command before anything else in our terminal. Ionic integration enable capacitor means this will check whether capacitor is added to our application or not. Okay. Why? Because this capacitor can be used in other than Ionic applications also. That is the reason we can check this using this command. So for Ionic, it is so here see it is already enabled. It is showing because Ionic will bundle Ionic application while creating only bundled with the capacitor. So there is another way also we can run the mobile application, that is the old way, that is Cordova. But most recommended is capacitor. Here I am going to use capacitor itself only to run my application. So first command is done. Next what we have to do, we need to give our application information like application name and application ID should be registered in the capacitor config. For that we need to run this command npx cap init app name and app ID. So let's paste it. So here I need to give application name, my application 1, and there are some syntax and the application ID should be like your domain in reverse order, my application 1. Okay, so these are very important while publishing your application also. These should be like unique. Okay, when you deploy your apps to Play Store or Google Store or Apple Store, these IDs are mandatory. Now run this command. I will use npm. So now if you go to capacitor config JSON file, see here my app ID and app name are registered here. Okay. Next I need to run the command like npx cap add android. This is going to generate Android specific file. Okay, those files only will be published to run our Android mobiles. If you want to use iOS, you need to do a iOS here. Need to change a small change instead of Android. You need to use iOS because I don't have a iOS testing support. Actually, it is a paid one. So here I am only showing the Android emulators only by using the Android Studio. For that, you need to run this command. Okay, let's copy that and open our terminal, paste that and run it. Here it will show some error because initially we haven't built our project till now the production mode. For that, what we have to do, see in blog as well, I have shown that message. For that, you need to simply run npm run build. So it will build our project. Till now we haven't generated any build to our project. Okay, now it is completed. Now again run the old command like npx cap add android. So previously why it hasn't run, we till now we don't have build our application in production mode. Now we have run our application in production mode and we are ready to generate the Android files using the command like npx cap add android. So it will generate the files. Okay. Now if you observe here in our terminal and go up, see here Android folder has been created. Means all the required Ionic files are generated as Android compatible files here. Okay. That is happened because of our npx add android command. Now here see what it is giving instructions to us, another command. Now to launch the Visual Studio Android Studio, launch use this command, it is saying, right? So now our project will be opened in the Android Studio. For that, make sure to have installed Android in your local system. So you should have Android Studio installed in it. Now what it will, this command will do, this command will open my project into the Android Studio. Uh, Please note that there we won't do any development in Android Studio. It is only used to run our application in the Android emulators. Okay, see, it is opening. It is now starting to open the Android Studio. So here is my Android Studio. Okay, it is open and it is trying to load my project. So give it some time. Here it is loading. Here it will load our application. And here you can see some pre-built installations will be automatically taken care by Android Studio to run our application. See here, my app is loaded here. Okay, Android app is loaded. And now before going to run this, I need to mention that you need to have installed or created a emulator. For that, go to Tools and in the Tools, click on ADV Manager. If you click, it will show a pop-up here. See, I have already created a one emulator. If you don't have one like this, use here create virtual device option where it will going to create a emulator. Here I am not going to create any more emulators. So if you don't have one like me, please create a virtual device. So let me close this, and here in the drop down I need to select the mobile emulator I am choosing. I am choosing Pixel 4XL API 291, that one. So and hit the run button here. What it will do? It going to start to open the mobile emulator and then runs our application into that emulator. Here it is starting my emulator. It will take some time to kickstart the application. See, my application is automatically loaded onto the emulator. See, I got my welcome page. I am clicking on menu. See how look and feel as it is. It is mobile application only. Mobile application only running on a emulator. See the look and feel of my application. I'm smoothly able to navigate between the pages, and it is showing everything. What not everything it is showing. So it is cool, right? And very looking very good, right? Running in mobile as well, by testing here as well. Okay, so that's all about the introduction video on Ionic 5 application using Vue.js. And I think and I hope this video has delivered some useful information. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Soon we will meet you with new videos, guys. Until then, signing off.